Tight talk, player ratings after a disappointing 1-0 defeat at home to Chesterfield. We did just finish up our live stream of watching the game, the watch along, and we got a lot of viewers in there. So thank you very much to everyone that joined us for that. If you did like it, just let us know, and we'll make sure we'll do another one later in the season. So going on, we really hoped we'd have more to positive things to say in that, but as a performance overall, it was flat. We were outplayed, outfought, outmuscled. Everything that could have gone wrong did really go wrong in that game. No real clear-cut chances. After a decent 5 minutes, that seemed to be it for Notts. So going on to player ratings, Pilling in goal. I was saying before the game how I think he is a very able keeper that could come in first team level. I think the goal was sort of an error on his part. Although there were players in front of him trying to, get to that ball, I think it was a bit of an error. And, he spilt the ball on more than one occasion as well. So for me, Pilling this game gets a 5 out of 10. Going on, I'll do this 2 centre-backs first. I think, I don't know, there was no Tom Denton there, the big striker that can cause issues as we saw back at their ground. But at the same time, they had players that were decent in the air, and Rawlinson, that Lacey, especially that first half, just let them dominate them. And they were bringing the ball down, and that's really where a lot of their attacks were coming from. So for me, Lacey gets a 5 and Rawlinson gets a 5.5. I do think Rawlinson was a little bit better in the air from corners. At one point, I don't know how it finished, but they had 9 or 10 corners, Chesterfield. So, Rawlinson did okay, and to say we didn't actually concede from one of the corners into the box. Going on to the fullbacks, Kelly Evans, who are a massive fan of. It was just, this is his lowest rating for me this season, I think. I'm going to give him a 6. I thought it was okay, flying his tackles, but on a performance of that scale, he wasn't actually brilliant at all, compared to his normal standards. He wasn't bad. He was nowhere near one of the worst players on the pitch. But I don't know if he wasn't really helped because of the performance of other players either. So he gets a 6. Miller on the other side, I've said he's comfortable in that position, but, today you can see he's better attacking than defending. He was decent going forward and he had some driving runs. If I was to give him a rating attacking-wise, I'd give him a 6. If I was to give him a rating defensive-wise, I'd give him a 4. So that's going to balance out at a 5, the same as Lacey in that back 4. Going on to 2 midfielders then, Reeves and Dora for me. They sort of set the pace when we came back out in the second half, and they tried to improve and tried to speed up the game a little bit in Notts' favour. Didn't really happen for more than the first 10 minutes when I was saying on the watch along that we need to capitalise now and get the goal, and then Chesterfield just went into let's waste a bit of time and catch Notts on the break mode, which Doyle tracking back when people are on the break, it's not fantastic and it's not his real job to do. So for me, they both get 6s. Okay performances, but we've seen miles better from them. Going on to Enzio then, for me, actually probably the man of the match for Notts, if we can have one. He was trying to make things happen. He was tracking back well. He was quite skillful on the runs. He put himself about. He wanted to make things happen, and he's been steadily improving week on week. So for me, Enzio gets that 6.5, and it's a well-deserved 6.5 from a player that I think just needs to add a goal or 2 to his tally this season, and he's nearly back at the level we've seen before. Rodriguez, whoa, what an anomaly for me. Scores like he does against Dagenham and Redbridge, has little moments of absolute class, and then others you just don't see him. You don't see him for the rest of the game. In that second half, I genuinely forgot he was on the pitch. I actually forgot Rodriguez was on the pitch second half. Saying that, he did have a decent effort in the first half, and he did try to make things happen, but he was doubled up on, especially first half. So I'm going to give him a 6, just because he did attempt to make things happen. So 6 for me. Elijah Sam. Now, for me, he was playing out wide. He's not a wide man at all. If you're playing Sam, you pair him with Wootton, or you play him instead of Wootton if you're rotating or resting or in a cup game. You can't play out wide. Yes, we've got the skills, and we saw the goal. Can't remember who it was against. Wheelstone when he nutmegged the defender and then put it in from a tight angle. We've seen he can do that, but he doesn't do it consistently enough. And what would have been a much better option in that situation was to just scrap the wide men if you're not going to play them wide, or have Ruben a bit further wide. It just didn't work for Sam. I mean, he did okay coming back. He's strong, but this was a chance to really prove it, and it didn't quite come off. So I'm going to give Elijah Sam a 5. The next one, Wootton. I said it again in the live stream. I said it on Twitter. If he got literally hit with a baseball bat, the baseball bat will get a free kick. He is penalised for everything. Saying that, he didn't do enough today, and he was just beaten to everything. Really, he was dominated. He was left exposed on his own. Like, what's he going to do when he's got 2-3 players trying to get that? He got to the near post a few times from crosses and corners and nearly made something happen, but it's a nearly. But for the energy he shows constantly, it's got to be a 6 for Carl Woodson. Going on to 2 subs then. Knowles started off first 5 minutes of coming on at a 7, drifted down to maybe a 6. So I'm going to give him a 6.5. He makes things happen. He's an impact. He's quick. He is skillful. When he tracked back, that was fantastic to show the strength. He has desire. He wants to prove himself. So he gets a 6.5. I'd just like to see him from the start of the game. And I think if we had have seen him instead of Sam, who knows what might have happened. But all in all, we missed Cal Roberts massively. A massive shout on the stream from Will, actually, saying that could we get Sam Osborne back on loan now? His season seems to have been, well, it has finished, hasn't it? Pending all these arguments coming from other clubs and legal battles, but could we get Osborne back? And I wouldn't be against that, because we need the width, and we need a bit more depth width-wise. And finally, Effiong, I don't think he offered anything when he came on, really. He got through sort of one-on-one. He just overhit the ball awfully, and he could have been through. So he's going to get a 5 from me. But overall, as a team performance, I'm going to have to probably give it a 5.5. It was lacklustre, out-battled, out-fought, and all in all, not a very good day at the office.